Hey guys, this is Gary with the Get Bicycle Path. I'm back to finish this build series up with the 930. This will be the final episode on building it. I did do some upgrades and got some parts, so we might do a little short video on that, and I want to do some ride videos on it. But this video is going to cover uh, how to put a little bit on truing a wheel, and then how to tape a wheel for tubeless, and how to run a brake. So hope you guys enjoy. I'll try to change up. I'm gonna tweak the format a little bit on the next series, but I enjoyed doing this one, and it seems like you guys are liking it. So happy about that. Uh, and yeah, I got some other ideas coming up for some more videos. So enjoy, and I'll catch you later. Okay, before I run the rear brake, I need to true this up a little bit. So this is a park truing stand. This is my favorite stand on the market. And basically it's just, what you're going to do is you're going to balance it between these two guys here. So you tighten this down and you hear it hit. And then you give it, I like to work spokes in 3 if I can, but these are a little on the loose side, so I'm not gonna do that. What I mean by 3 is you tighten this one and loosen, then the ones on the other side. So basically this spoke goes to this side of the hub, this spoke goes to this side of the hub. So you're just pulling them back and forth. But it's pretty common for stuff that sits to the spokes to kind of like loosen in, and I don't know if they're just stretched. The other thing to watch out for is the up and down movement, which this one does look like it has a hop. So then what you could do is you could lower this down. It's not bad for a mountain wheel. I think it's really not that bad, but it looks worse because of the brake, like how the brake track looks. But how you get those out is then you do in groups at 3. So where it hit, I tighten them. The opposite one, you got to turn a little bit more than these other two to keep it centered, or you'll pull it out. I'm trying to let you guys get in here as good as possible, but it's kind of hard. If this is a road wheel, I'd be a little bit more concerned about this. This must have got hit in storage a little bit. Like there's a high spot here, but the spokes aren't. I'd rather have the wheel stronger than the wheel perfectly round. You'll never notice this riding mountain. On a road, I would probably have spent a little bit more time trying to get that out of it. I don't think you can get it out on this way. I think the wheel is physically bent a little bit. Nothing that's not usable. Like, it's not going to perfect the performance on a mountain bike. It does have a little hop though. Right there. Oh yeah, and it's actually, you could see. So somebody, when they're riding, had too little tire pressure and hit the rim. That's what is going on there. So yeah, there's no way to fix that. I can make it a little bit better, but making it true is the only thing I'm really, really concerned about. Okay, so that's better. I guess while it's up here in the stand, I'm gonna see about switching out this rim tape to go tubeless. So I gotta pull this. I could get a hold of it. Usually these come off pretty easy. This one's in there. So we're gonna pull this off. I thought this was a slip over one. This was actually tape. Okay, now we gotta clean the braking surface up. Or not braking, the rim strip surface up. Because we're gonna put a tubeless style rim strip in it. And they stick on with the tape. I don't know what I just knocked down. I convert everything to tubeless. I see a huge difference in ride quality with it. Even the bike with the fender, it's set up tubeless. I don't seem to have too many issues with tubeless. The big thing is don't let them go flat and then the sealant dry in them, because then like you're just adding weight to your tires, and then you take your high-end tire, make it heavy for no reason. And I hope I got more. Yeah, I do. I need a rag. This is Clean Streak. This stuff is awesome stuff. It's like brake cleaner, but for bikes. So now we're just trying to get some of this residue off from inside here. And the rim strip I have is a little on the wide side for this rim, but I think we can make it work. It just means when I put the tire on, I gotta be more careful. But once the tire is on, it should seal up better because it's too wide, probably 2 millimeters too wide. So it's just gonna make everything more of a challenge. But once the tire's on there, it should be good. And then if I do get a flat on the trail and I gotta throw a tube in it, I gotta be careful that I don't roll the rim strip when I take the tire on and off. Okay. There's many different brands of rim strip out there. I use the cheap old Bucklows. I haven't had an issue with it. So what you're going to want to do is you got to get this down in the center of your rim. So once you get it started, then you want to put good pressure and you want to get it underneath that hook. And kind of wiggle it back and forth. Following it with my thumb like this, pressing it down in the center. And you gotta get it all the way around and overlap it about 4 inches or 3 inches. It's kind of tiring. Before I go over this, I want to make sure this is down. We're going to overlap, make sure this one's bonded real good. Okay. I'm going to use a pair of scissors, cut it. And then this part, I feel, is pretty important to make sure it's stuck real good, because you don't want the sealant working its way between the tape layers. Seems like that's the failure point when people are doing this at home. And then you want to make sure everything's stuck down good. So go around it like that. And then like these Pedro's levers here, this is where it's doubled and it's a little tighter. The better you get it stuck, the more success you have. And getting it up the bead surface like this, running a little wider tape, really does help with the sealing. It's just harder to do. Like I got exercise minutes on my Apple Watch doing that. Maybe I'm just out of shape. Okay, so now I burn the hole. I started doing that when I had the shop. I used Stan's tape, and I had an issue with it splitting. I don't know if that is still an issue, but we're not going to take a chance. So I'm just going to take an old piece of cable, hold it back long enough that it's not going to get hot. Let's get so valve stem's always opposite the label. So let's find the valves. So there's the valve stem. So I'm just going to use the truing stand to hold it. So valve stem's right there. So take the torch, get that nice and red, and then bang, you got your hole. And of course, I found purple tuba stems. This is another little issue with old bikes that we're trying to get going. These rims are narrower than what these valve stems are really designed for. What I mean by that is when you put this in there, this one, see, the bead doesn't have enough room. So I don't put them in tight until I get it, because what I do is I put the tire in, I push this up, put the tire in, and pull this back down to get it on the bead. But yeah, that is a little bit of a issue doing these old bikes. Stands in Mavic, if you can find those. The Mavic ones are like a rectangle, and they fit down there good. I have a couple of those, and I got a couple old stands ones laying around. Once those are gone, the other thing is those aren't cool colors. But anyways, what do we got to do now? I'm just gonna clean this up. I'm gonna pull the cassette off and clean it, and then we'll put the wheel on and run the brake. Okay, let's run the rear brake now. I don't have. I think I'm gonna use all new. Oh no, I do have housing that I could use. This is a new housing here. So now what we do is just lay it up so it follows the other cable. Now this is brake cable, so we have to cut it with a pair of dikes. And I'm going to cut this one, and I'm going to try to show you what I'm doing here. Let me cut open a piece of this. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the housing off. See if I could get it to focus. See how it's like grooves? So what you're trying to do when you're cutting it, you're trying to work, like open it up a little bit, and then you're trying to see how that went between the two, and then when you cut it, it leaves it open. Now back in the day, I used to have a little sander at my bench, and I'll probably do that here too eventually. But you could sand the ends of them, and it will make the brakes feel better because it's like nice and flat. But then this is the liner that you gotta. It's all over my pick. You gotta open this back up so it gets so then the housing goes through there. But you want this as flat as possible. If you take your time and you work it between that, you can accomplish that. So that's what you're trying to do. So that's a pretty good cut. And then I have these little metal caps that go on them. And then this will go in here to here. See how that nice, all the cables, well, besides this one, I haven't done that one yet, kind of follow each other. That's the goal with this. So now we're gonna take this, open up, and then there's a groove in all these, so you gotta line them all up. And then I turn them off so it doesn't fall back through. I did set the rear tire up tubeless, but these tires they're new old stock. So they're like 30 years old, and they've been folded up. So it fought me, and I didn't think it would be a good one to show you guys how to set up tubeless. So I didn't film any of that. We'll do that down the road with a different one. I need one of the rubber donuts. Okay. Is there one in here? I thought Okay. So in that housing needs to be one of these rubber tubes. I happen to have a new one. Let's go back here. So this is for Keeney brakes, where this would be you wouldn't need a hanger with this; it would just come out. But since we're running V-brakes on this. This needs to go through here so the cable could go through nice. I really need it to stop on this side though, so it doesn't just slide through. Let me explore this possibility. Give me one sec. Okay, so what I did is I just took a 4mm breaker ferrule, they call it, and I cut the hole bigger in the end of it and cut it down, so now that will stop it from coming through. I think that's a good solution for this. I kind of want to put it on the other way then. I got it this way. Okay, so now I'm going to slide that through here. Bottom it out all the way. And then we're going to leave just a little bit out because this will fit it as well. So there. Now we got our little cable stop. We're going to run that through there. Yeah, this is going to work. And then I cut it and bent. What I did is I took this deal and laid it in here and twisted it around so it's got a little bit more bend back. Really wish I had a new one of these. This one's ripped. But anyways. So now I need a piece of brake housing. That's good Shimano stuff. And then what we're going to do, we're going to cut it right there. Where's all my picks? I got a mess going on. I need to clean my bench. All right. It's going to be the moment of truth how well this is going to work. Actually, I don't think I want to run a brake ferrule there. I think it will be better without. It gives it a little bit more flex. Yeah, and it fits in there fine. All right, this through here. Yeah, I think this is going to work perfect. Oh boy, I'm excited. Curious how this is going to feel. It's going to be fine. Just need more cable tension. It looks pretty good, the whole setup. I wasn't expecting that. It's kind of walking my little thingy on this side out. All right, now we got brake tension. Let's make sure the pads are nice and flat. I always set them up flat first. If they make noise, I address that then. Okay. So now there's these little screws that'll adjust the tension slightly. If you ever need more tension, you can bend the springs too. Okay, so those brake levers were old enough that they had a deal in them that you could adjust or feel, and they were feeling a little on the squishy side, and it's because they're pulling too much cable. That feels better. I'm going to increase tension a little bit so I get better spring back. It's good cable routing, but it's not ideal cable routing, so we're going to run a little bit more spring tension because of that. Just to keep the cable taut when the brakes aren't applied. Oh yeah, we're hauling butt now. I need a new one of these. That sucks that that's tore. Alright, this one, these cables, this cable I'll leave about to here. And then what I do is I'll put the end on it. Do my two little crimps. And then there's a little peg here. I bend it over, and then I always lay it on top of the bolt like that. So then everything's out of the way. Man, we almost got a functional bike. Oh, also something interesting. There was a time when I remember having a discussion. I used to work with a guy's name was Bob Baptista. He was an excellent rider. I was down College Station at BCS Bicycles. I wonder if they're still there. But I was working there, and I was running 175s. I can't remember what they were, racing. And he's like, man, you got to try these Hutchinson Pythons. They're awesome. I'm like, man, they're way too wide to race on. Now, like, shoot, road bikes are getting close to that size, it seems like. But yeah, we used to consider that a super wide tire on the mountain bike. Now it looks so skinny compared to everything new and modern. But these tires were, I love these tires. I ran these tires all the way up until I started running 29ers. They did not work good on a 29er, in my opinion. But around here, they were fast. They gripped good. I ran them both with pointed forward. When you look down, the chevron on top points forward. You could flip the back one around for more traction, but I think it rolls faster this way, or that was the theory. So, but yeah, two tires used to think were like super wide, and now like, I mean, they're tiny. They're tiny. This bike will fit a big tire too, so maybe down the line we'll throw some. If I ride this bike, give it a little bit more cush. Maybe I'll throw some 2.3s on it or something like that. Man, 2.2s back in the day were downhill tires. Now I have 2.4s on my gravel bike, so that says anything. Well, here she is out in the wild. Got a couple miles on her. She's riding good. She a little aggressive by today's standards. I got those riser bars coming, which I think will help. I also have a 5 or 7 degree stem coming that might go on it too, which should bring the bars up 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, which I think would make it so I ride the bike more. But man, it's fun getting on these old bikes. They just kind of rip. They got a different feeling than today. You got to pay more attention to them, and they just kind of go. Fork works good. Shifting is amazing. Way better than anything modern, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm just kind of out here ripping it around. Unfortunately, it's all wet, so I can't get it on dirt, but the RockShox brake works pretty decent. It's probably less powerful than a V-brake, but it's neat. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the build. So it came out to be a pretty good looking bike. All I did off camera is the front brake was already adjusted because I never took it off the fork and it was the same wheel. So I basically just put the tire on the front and slapped it together, and here we are. So we do have a couple more purple bits coming for the bike. I don't know if I'll necessarily show. I'll probably glance over it in another video, but I also realized the last video, it was an hour long, and this one is gonna need split up because I think it's even longer than the last one. So my goal for the channel is to do 20-minute videos. So like this one's probably gonna be 2 or 3 videos. I don't know, I haven't put it in the editor yet. But I think, give me some feedback on that, guys. I think that's where it kind of needs to be for YouTube. So yeah, that's kind of my thing. I would love to hear comments and suggestions. I like doing these videos. I don't know if I'm going too in-depth in them. I feel like the Fender one was a little boring. I don't know if I would have sat through it all the way. Thanks to you that did. But this one I think is a little bit better. I think I did a little bit more educational, a little bit more talking about things. So hopefully that's hopefully I can fine tune this to something you guys like to see and keep doing these. I'm also going to do some ride videos too. I'm thinking riding the old bikes as well as new bikes and different trails and stuff. So, but anyways, please like, comment, subscribe, share. I would really like to grow this channel. I really enjoy bicycles. Have a big history with bicycles. I worked in the industry over 25 years, so I don't currently work in it, but I'm kind of doing repairs on the side and stuff like that. So let me know. Thanks for watching as always, and look for you on the next one.